But it's so bad, Dr. G, that you know what else to do? If someone comes to my house and they say, oh, I love that blanket, I give them the blanket. And my husband laughs at me. He says, oh my word, Tracy-Ann, you're so bad. Last week, 3 people came to my house and said, oh, I love that. I went, take it. Because you know what? It's materialistic things. It doesn't mean anything. What really matters is how you touch people's hearts, how you touch their lives, how you change their lives. Because you know what happens? Those people, they want to go give it back to other people.
Welcome to the Kindness Factor podcast, sharing life-changing personal stories of the transformational impact of deep kindness. Hosted by
Dr. Elia, the happiness doctor,
and Randy McNeely, the kindness giver. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to another wonderful episode of the Kindness Factor podcast. I'm Randy McNeely, the kindness giver, joined by my amazing Greek co-host, Dr. Elia Gougouris, the happiness doctor. And we are thrilled today to have in the house with us, sharing the mic with us, a wonderful lady named Tracy-Ann Palmer. Elia, take it away. She's your friend, our wonderful friend, but you get to introduce her.
First of all, Tracy-Ann, welcome to the show. You know, your bio is so prolific that if I read all of it, they'll be like, that's the end, that's it. So we'd rather hear from you directly. I'm just going to read a couple of things. Tracy-Ann Palmer stands at the forefront of innovation and leadership as the dynamic CEO of the Corporate Athlete Academy. First of all, I love corporate and athlete together. That's very, very unique. And the visionary co-founder of Home Industries. With a rich tapestry of over 25 years in leadership in various industries and companies, including Salesforce, Cisco, I mean, we can go on and on. Tracy has become a paragon of transformation and growth in the business world, steering companies towards unprecedented success with her strategic acumen and entrepreneurial spirit. And you guys, she's won more awards than I can name. So let's just say she's a global speaker, best-selling author, board member, investor, certified executive coach and trainer. But let's get to the heart of who you are. At the heart of her mission lies the foundation of We Build Character, a nonprofit initiative dedicated to building leaders of the future. And I just love that you're speaking our language, Tracy-Ann. Her commitment to creating a cadre of diverse, resilient corporate athletes, again, professionals who surpass norms and delivered unparalleled results, is a testament to her role as a catalyst for positive change. Her boundless energy and pioneering spirit not only drive business transformation, but also inspire a legacy of leadership and innovation. Welcome to the show. All right.
It's wonderful to be here with you, Dr. G and Randy.
You're welcome.
We're just thrilled to have you here. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us and spend a few minutes with us and with our audience. You know, one of the first things we do when we come on is we ask our guests to share with us a story, a kindness hero story, a story where someone stepped into your life, stepped into the shoes of a kindness hero in your life and did something or showed you kindness in a way that impacted you, that still sticks with you, that inspired you to want to go and be kind to somebody else. Do you have an experience like that to share?
No, Randy, do you have tissues?
Yep.
We do. We're very sensitive men. Don't overdo it.
No, look, you know, when I was 20 years old, unfortunately, I was with someone who was not a very nice person. You know, as young kids, you know, I was the typical, you know, A student, ready to go off to college, all those things. And I met someone that was not good for me in my life. And I say that because we hear that all too often, right? And before my 21st birthday, he nearly killed me through domestic violence. And it is a night I will never forget in my life, as you can imagine. And it is through the kindness of two individuals that I am here today. And I'm going to share with you what that means. The next day, once this had happened and I'd survived the night, I knocked on their doorstep. Now, I had actually seen them the night before. And when I knocked on their doorstep, they didn't recognize me. And I said, I've got less than an hour to get out of my house. Without hesitation, they jumped in the vehicle. Chris got in, he started grabbing all my stuff. And while he was there, this gentleman came home. And he was literally going from room to room on his hands and knees and crying and begging me to stay. And if it wasn't for the courage that Chris gave me, I wouldn't have left, because there's a lot of psychology that goes into domestic violence. I got in that vehicle. That evening, his wife literally sat me in a bath and she unmatted my hair. Unmatted my hair. It took 3 years for my hair to grow back on my head. 3 years. They were the only two people in the world who knew that this had happened until many, many, many years later. They took me in.
They literally saved your life.
They saved my life.
Like actually literally saved your life. I mean, I know we say that a lot of times, but more symbolically in your case, it's actually, yeah.
They literally saved my life. And to this day, I don't know that I've even thanked them in the way that I should have, right? Because you're living in the moment. I've only seen them once since then, you know, because they immigrated, I immigrated. And a few months ago, I took the opportunity to write this all down for myself because it was a healing moment. And as I was writing it down, I cried for 3 hours while I was writing it down, thinking to myself, what incredible kindness to another human being.
So the impact, besides saving your physical life and helping you to begin to heal physically, obviously you've started nonprofits, you've helped so many people around the globe. How have you paid it forward in terms of you being on the giving end now of kindness and blessing other people's lives, honestly, really?
I love that you asked that question. So I wake up every day thinking about how grateful I am to be on the earth and how am I going to pay it forward. So in my home, I'm called Mahaba. My husband calls me Mahaba because it means overflowing with love. And when you ask how I paid it forward, firstly, I paid forward very generously, right? If there is anybody that needs help, 24/7, day or night, I am there for them. I started the nonprofit 16 years ago where we do leadership mentoring programs. I volunteer my time to help others in all kinds of instances. You know, some people are just, and you know, in the work that you do, some people just need a little lift, a little support. They need to know that you're there to help them no matter what they are going through. And you've got to listen and you've got to care intensely. But it's so bad, Dr. G, that you know what else to do? If someone comes to my house and they say, oh, I love that blanket, I give them the blanket. And my husband laughs at me. He says, oh, my word, Tracy-Ann, you're so bad. Last week, 3 people came to my house and said, oh, I love that. I went, take it. Because you know what? It's materialistic things. It doesn't mean anything. What really matters is how you touch people's hearts, how you touch their lives, how you change their lives. Because you know what happens? Those people, they want to go give it back to other people.
what you're doing is what you're really saying is you're instigating the ripple effect or
Yes,
the pay it forward effect, as you will. You do one thing, they do something, then that somebody else. It's not like the kindness domino effect.
that's it. And you know what's, Randy? I just wrote a song, so I'm going down my bucket list. I'm getting all my stuff done, and my album's getting released later on this year. And one of
Congratulations. You
my
gotta,
songs, thank you.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But one of the songs is called Ripple.
Oh wow,
It's called Ripple because what this three of us, we create ripples.
and that's what kindness always does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Randy, you asked Tracy-Ann about who's her kindness hero. I think she is a kindness hero herself to so many others. I mean, that's just so evident. Um, what happens to your own heart though when you're a kindness hero, when you help other people? Because you benefit as well. I mean, as a
Oh, I think we benefit more from it than other people. You know, your we've spoken about it. Your endorphins, your dopamine. I mean, when you are giving to others, that personal joy, that word joy doesn't even cover the basis of the feelings of giving to others. When you see the look in their eyes, or the pure astonishment, of what you've done for them, especially when you see others that are not as fortunate as you, or have been, they've gone into bad times, or maybe they're, going through a mental tough day. And when I was at corporate, they used to say, Tracy-Ann, you're too kind.
is there such thing? I'm going to
Is
challenge that.
there
I
such
don't.
thing? Yes.
I don't
Can you,
know.
can you ever be too kind? Really?
No.
I mean,
I know what they were meaning in terms of, don't be a pushover. But that's one thing I'm not as a pushover. I'm from Africa, right? We we know, you
Means.
know, you know what that means. but but there is no such thing to me, and you said it, Dr. D, there's no such thing to me as being too kind. The impact you have on this world with kindness surpasses anything.
When a wallet was returned just moments after it was lost, a purpose was found. This one act of kindness inspired the formation of the nonprofit Kindness Worldwide to create a culture of kindness in communities throughout the world. Kindness Week Worldwide mobilized the entire community in York, Pennsylvania, featuring initiatives and playbook programs including blood drives, kindness cards, K-12 and college students embracing kindness, and an innovative means of community policing, kindness citations. If something so magical can happen in York, Pennsylvania, the same and other inspirations can happen anywhere and everywhere. Our Screen Scenes initiative featuring the Kindness Factor will showcase these many stories of kindness. Let's include your community among them. Kindness is the heartbeat of the world. Together, with your support, we can make all its hearts beat as one.
but if you stop and think about that, and think about what you just said, why is that? Here's the answer to that question. Why is kindness so powerful? What does it deliver? Kindness delivers love. Kindness
Yes,
is love in action.
that's it.
I hear the cliche statement you hear all the time, love conquers all. Well, the fact is, it's not cliche, it's true.
It is
That's
true.
that's why kindness is so powerful, because kindness is love's delivery agent. Kindness is like the syringe, that you can inject love into people's hearts. Every time we give kindness away, what we're doing is priming their heart so that love will stick
That's
and
right.
cut the stick. That's why when you think about the experience you had, I mean, I can't even imagine how traumatic that must have been. You remember it for two reasons. You remember it because of the pain and the sorrow and the suffering that you went through, but you also uh, remember it because of the kindness of those people and the love that they showed to you. If they hadn't been willing to extend that love towards you through their kind actions, like you said earlier, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
That's right. That's
And
right.
that's why it's so powerful. That's why it's so needed today. And that song from the 60s, what the world needs now is love, sweet love,
Yeah.
and we don't need to climb another mountain. We don't need a new meadow or anything like that. We just need more love. That's why boldly speaking out about kindness, letting our kindness shine, and what we're doing here is so important.
And it heals. You
It
know, you
does.
know, if you think of kindness as a vehicle, right, of love, it heals people, it heals communities, and it has a power beyond what we can even imagine because it spreads.
But you think about this, you hear the statement, magic doesn't exist, right? I believe in magic. And here's what I mean by that. The change that happened in your heart because the kindness of those people extended towards you.
Mm-hmm.
The look, you talked about the look in the eyes that
Yeah.
people get when you extend kindness toward them. Elia, you remember when you guys were serving food after all the houses burned, and the look in the eyes of the people, that look, when you see that look, because you're giving kindness, because you're giving love away,
Yeah.
that's magic. That's when the magic happens.
Yeah.
When Tracy-Ann, when you were talking about and your husband, like you're giving another thing away, when somebody comes into your home and sees something. I love that. It kind of triggered a memory that I had. We moved here. I was almost 11 years old from Greece. Just to this big, huge country, America. In California, and my uncle, my dad's older brother, who brought us here. I remember one time, and I'm in awe. Like everything in America is so big compared to where I'm coming from. Like it's just everything you shoot. And he was wearing a T-shirt, and he had taken me to a couple of UCLA basketball games. And he was wearing a UCLA T-shirt. That's where he had gone to school. Eventually, I went to school. My brother, we all went to UCLA anyway. And we're having dinner with my mom, my dad, my brother. And I'm like, Uncle, I really like that shirt, the T-shirt. He goes, you do? I said, yeah, it looks really nice on you. And he literally, physically took off his and he handed it to me. Now I'm a 12-year-old boy,
Mm-hmm.
I've never experienced anything like that in my life. And that happened repeatedly. There were a couple of years later, he had like this really fancy tennis shoes or whatever. He was a great tennis player. Like, man, he literally took him off and gave him to me. The impact that has on a young person's heart
Oh.
and mind, Randy called it magic. I'll call it priceless.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
What it did to me is like
priceless magic.
magic. It's priceless. It touched me at such a deep core, Tracy-Ann. Not only have I never forgotten it, but it sort of he acted like a role model.
Yeah.
So when I was in a position, to have, some material things and, like, to be able to give and to give freely, don't even think about it because I remember how I felt.
Yes.
It wasn't even about the T-shirt or the
The
shoes. It was
feeling,
the
it's
act.
a feeling you get.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember, we spoke, was it 2 weeks ago with Cheryl Knowlton, a speaker, and she shared the experience of when I think someone had passed away or something. She had just met this guy who was another speaker, and she was talking about how someone had passed away or somebody was ill or something like that. And he says, "Oh, can I buy you an airplane ticket so you can go out there and visit them?" And he just offered it. And
They
remember,
had never met before.
yeah,
Literally off a airplane ticket so they can go to the funeral.
yeah, she had just, I mean, literally just met this guy, and she says, "I still remember him. That's what this guy did for me." And it's those little things. We said, for some people that may not seem like a big deal. Oh, I'm just doing what I do. But I don't think we begin to comprehend how much those what seems like little things to us can really impact other people's lives. I've shared this story a million times. A friend of mine 45 years ago, when I needed to hear it, said, "I think you're really neat." She had no idea how much that little sentence
Mm-hmm.
impacted me and still impacts me. I talked to her like 30 years later, and it was about 10, 15 years ago, we went to dinner. My wife and I went to dinner with her and her husband, and I told her that story. She says, Randy, I don't even remember that. And I said, well,
Well, that's the beauty. If you
I
when you're
do.
center or heart center, you don't remember your acts of kindness oftentimes. You just do them. Like
Yes.
um, what's next for you? Like you're doing so many things. What's next for you in promoting love, in promoting goodness in the world, both corporate and nonprofit? What do you got going on that's exciting?
Yeah,
And how can we
yeah,
support you?
yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. So, everything I'm doing is really about impacting people's lives, right? So right now, I have the nonprofit, and we are doing leadership mentoring programs. I'm going out and trying to get grants so that I can support that work. The other thing I'm doing with my Warrior album is I'm really focusing also on how do I help people who don't believe in themselves? How do I help them with self confidence? So I have an ebook coming out that's going to really focus on getting them, because that was something I know I struggled with as a young girl, was the self confidence. I always felt different or not good enough, right? And so it's really, how do you help people to realize that there are people like all of us sitting on this call, and all we want to do is support them in their lives because they are good enough and they're special, and they can have their dreams, right? They can. We all can. So, to your point, how can you help me? I think it's, anything that you're doing around kindness. Hey, I want to be a part of. This is a big. I'm very, very passionate about this topic. I'm very passionate about helping others. I'm a certified executive coach. Would love to be able to help people just find themselves and live a happy life. Dr. G, you said happy. You know what my mom used to say to me all the time? One question: are you happy? I want people to be happy. I want them to be living their best life. That's what I want for them. So anything are you doing that I can be a part of?
Randy and I are part of a ever-growing uh, world kindness community with amazing people, like literally from all over the world, from and South Africa, Australia. We'll invite you on LinkedIn and introduce you to some really truly remarkable heart-centered human beings. The
One of
unfortunate thing is that our podcast is coming to an end so quickly. So, and I want to hear like a couple of pearls of wisdom from you. We'll make the introduction offline and bring you into this the group on LinkedIn. You'll be amazed.
one
If
one thing I want to throw out there is one of those great groups is Kindness Worldwide. I don't need to say anything else about that, but we're partners with them, and they that train, the Kindness Worldwide train, is steaming and chugging, and it's getting ready to take off.
And
So
that's a nonprofit too. And we're together with them. We're part of a larger, kindness movement. We're a worldwide movement, and we're connecting people. So if you want to come on board, we'll make that happen today. All right. Before we're done,
Yes.
couple of three pearls of wisdom from
Yes.
it could be about kindness, or it could be about your philosophy about life and happiness and so on. Like three things that would, like you said, help move the needle towards happiness and kindness. What would they be?
Well, I think first and foremost, the one would be always be kind, right?
You heard it. You heard it first, right here.
Always be kind, right? It's not a pearl of wisdom, it's a way to live your life, right? Secondly, don't look at people at face value. Get to know them.
Mm,
Get to know them authentically, deep down, because you will find out that people are beautiful, right? We all have beautiful things about us, and you learn and you grow. And
yes.
then the last one is never stop learning and growing in terms of your own authenticity and who you can be and how you can shine to make the world a better place.
beautiful.
Not only beautiful, but I mean, your voice. I can feel your heart through through your words, and your heart is so big. It's so big. It's as big as South Africa. It is.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
It has been
So
a total thrill.
yeah, this has been wonderful. I love you. Thanks for coming on the show. And just for our audience, just remember that with kindness, everybody wins, and you can see that here.
Yeah.
We have three people from three different continents,
Yeah.
America, Europe, and now Africa, and we've come together for a common cause, which is all about kindness. And
Yeah.
thank you for
Remember,
Thank you. It's been great to be on. Love you guys.
love
to
you too.
to our
Bye.
audience, just remember to take a minute and think, what did I learn today? How is it applicable to me? What am I going to do about it? Go out now, as our good friend Barry Shore would say, go mad, go make a difference, go be kind.
All right. Thank you.
Fantastic. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.